What's it doing? There we go.
Hi everyone, I'm Katie. I'm the Director of Programming here at Wicked Queer, and we are excited to have one of our last Q&As tonight with, I think, one of the team's favorite, the GTFO selection, which we always have such a fun time putting together. And every time we have a film that we really like or we don't know what to do with it, we'll text each other and be like, shotgun, this is my GTFO selection. So a lot of times there's usually fights over who gets what. But we're excited to have a lot of the filmmakers here today. So I'd love to go around, you guys introduce yourself and kind of say what you did on the film, and then we'll kind of get into the backstory of what, why you guys made the films that you did. So why don't we start with Maggie?
Hi, Maggie Casella. I'm in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Movie is Maggie Mysteries. I was a writer, story by writer and executive producer, and the movie just came out of my frustration with not seeing any queers in a particular show I was watching called Murdoch Mysteries. So, poof, Maggie Mysteries.
Awesome. Marilla?
Hello, I'm Marilla Wex. I am also in Toronto, Canada, despite my confusing accent. I played Maggie's love interest, which basically was an excuse to tongue kiss her in the movie.
That a Carol.
We'll go with Shannon also for Maggie Mysteries.
Hi, I'm Shannon McDonough. I was the producer on the film and I directed it and I was in it. I played Sergeant O'Reilly, I think was my name.
Right, I didn't recognize you with your mustache.
You don't recognize me without I waxed. Yeah, with a mustache and my mutton chops. Yes, yeah, my favorite part.
Those mutton chops were great. All right, Hilary and Suzie.
This is Hilary. I'm Suzie, and we made Stinkhorn, and we pretty much did everything ourselves: writing, drawing, animation, directing, compositing,
but not performing.
Yeah, except for performing, we did everything.
Awesome. Justin?
Hey, I'm Justin Garasha. I wrote, acted in, and produced along with Ayana Go Crazy with Crazy.
Awesome. And Ayana?
Cool. I'm Ayana Barber. I directed and produced Go Crazy with Crazy along with Justin.
Awesome. So why don't we just get into a little bit more of why you guys decided to make these films? Maggie, you obviously just said about, seeing the lack of representation, but also maybe why you did it in such a comedic way. I'd love to know more about that. And I also would love to know about you guys, how was it acting in it?
Okay, so, really I joke about a frustration, but, it's like any person who doesn't see themselves in anything. I was just on the treadmill watching the show called Murdoch Mysteries, which is a Canadian, it's in like 110 countries. It's about this, guy on the constabulary, and he's a detective. And I was watching, and as much as I think they try really hard to incorporate not just straight white people in it, because it's the conceit, right? It's in 1900, right? So what you're going to see is mostly straight white guys, right? So I was just like, there's got to be, what if that lesbian, that butch lesbian, that overachieving butch lesbian got on the force, and she was the first detective on the force, and everything else remained the same, which is there actually is a Shannon character that sort of misogynist, racist, homophobic, sergeant. He's actually in the show. So we just leave everything else the same. And of course, he wouldn't let Maggie go out without a chaperone. And that's where Marilla comes in. And of course, Marilla's deeply closeted, and she's married to Brandon, who's not here. And they're both just bearding for each other. And of course, hijinks ensue. But it was the frustration of not seeing a sort of a butch woman, if you will, in the dress. I mean, because they existed. And let's face it, it probably wasn't fun for them, but it's certainly a comical vehicle.
I think my favorite line is when you want something done, call a lesbian.
Yeah, right. And when Marilla says it, it sounds very, it was official.
Fancy, very, very fancy. Very fancy.
And how was it, you guys acting in it? Was it a conscious decision to have a woman play Shannon's character, play a man?
Well, yeah, for me, it was always going to be Shannon, because Shannon's really actually quite good at characters, and also, you know, with Marilla as a dialect coach, I knew she could handle that part. So I don't know. Everything is just casting people that you think are going to be good for the part, and then who cares what the gender is, and who cares what anybody's, you know, anything is, if it's going to be funny. And this is a comedy. This is a really light comedy. So, you know, I just put my friends in it mostly.
I was told I was going to be in it, and so I did.
What was it like acting in it? You guys obviously seem like you have a great rapport already from the 5 minutes that I've been on this Zoom, but how was it acting in it?
Megan, I met like 25 years ago, the first time you did the We're Funny That Way. And, but maybe in the last or so, we've been acting. We've been doing sketch comedy together. And so we already had a nice rapport. Marilla and I have done a few things together. And so acting in it with each other was an absolute blast. It was just about seeing who could make each other laugh. Acting
Was there a lot of
directing,
outtakes?
wasn't easy.
Katie,
Yes.
honestly, Shannon, I couldn't, you'll see there's a couple of, I didn't have cover shots over me smiling and trying to suppress, because Shannon was with the mutton chops and that stupid lip thing, and she was a bit gassy that day as well. So it was hard I was just laughing a lot. It was really hard because I'm the straight person in that, so to speak. So, and as well, Marilla's faces are enough to just kill you.
That's the most off. That's the note that I get the most often as an actor is like, could you do less with your face? Just slightly less. Because I do the photos I've had of me that have been taken while I've been doing stand-up are aggressively weird. So yeah, it's all in the face for me. I'm really a one-note actor, just facial expressions. That's really my gig. As Brandon will attest, when we've been doing stand-up together, he's all like cool and cute, and I just pull faces and do giant gestures. That's really the difference in our stand-up styles, if you will.
And how long was production?
Face,
What?
I think she said someone has a great face.
Thank you. I'll take it.
What was production like?
Well, Brandon just joined. So Brandon also was Marilla's husband. Beard.
I was the husband. I'm here. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm like up north. And it was just like,
that
so
seems like everyone.
Yeah. See, look, it's very like rural. We're here.
It does look very rural.
So Brandon, the question was like, how was it to act in the short, and what was production like? So you want to that one?
It was so much fun. Me and Marilla have had this recurring joke for like almost 10, essentially 10 years that we're husbands. Then when we found out that we were going to be playing husband and wife together, it was so thrilling and fun, and just like we spoke it into existence kind of thing. And in terms of production was so fun. I got to hang out with Maggie's dogs all day. I got to go to Maggie's fun house. It was just a fun time. It was just like a fun, very chill.
Was that your dog in it, Maggie?
Yeah, that's Beezy, the Weimaraner.
Did my Wi-Fi?
Yeah. So Beezy, I had 2 Weimaraners, and one had passed, and the smart one passed. So Beezy's the pretty one. So there were a lot of it took a long time to get Beezy to run through the woods. Let's just say this about that.
Getting that metal around her neck. Ugh.
That took 4,000 years.
4,000.
The longest scene.
That's funny. That's really funny, because you would obviously never think that.
But overall, we shot the whole thing in 2 days.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's well done to do a 10-minute short in 7 days, for sure. All right, let's go on to Go Crazy with Crazy. I obviously on our end, we've read kind of the director's statement that you guys submitted with the short, but I'd love to maybe have you explain it, and also explain that this was based on some true events. So we'd like to know a little bit more about that.
So I'll let Justin talk a little bit about it since he wrote it. So I'll let him dive into that.
Yeah. Thanks, Ayana. This story has been something that's been kicking around for a little while now, and I started writing it as a feature and then pared it down to like what could be like a short film. So I really just wanted to create something that spoke to mental health issues, LGBT issues, and like power dynamics that weren't only between like hetero couples, but something that like we see often play out in the gay community as well. And it was inspired by a true event. Like, this was somebody who I met, and I just like imagined like, what if it had gotten to like this point? I didn't end up like going to the meeting that we end up seeing play out in the short film, but like I always wondered like, well, what if like I had gone? And that's kind of where this standalone version of the short film came to be. And then I have to agree with like what Maggie said too. Jimmy, who plays opposite me in it, like he and I are friends from an acting class that we're both part of, and I like saw him do a scene one day and I was like, oh my God, it has to be Jimmy. And then like I went and saw a project that Ayana did in Tribeca, and I was like, Ayana, we should do this next. And that's kind of how they both came onto the project. And like Maggie said, it's just like working with people you love.
And that's very true, because we definitely, I didn't know that this was like truly Justin wanted to make more films. He was an actor when I originally met him, still an actor, but that was like his main focus. So when he came to me and said, hey, I know you just did this thing for Tribeca, I think it would be really cool. Do you mind reading a script? I was like, no, not at all. Like, you're a friend. Of course I don't mind. And then we just kind of figured out that it really worked. There were a few things that we tweaked and we worked together on that, but we did a bunch of rehearsals so we could make sure that by the time we got to our 2-day production period, everything went okay, because 2 days is, we all know, is not a lot of time. So we did a lot of rehearsals up to that to make sure that we were able to capture everything and shot list everything and just make sure that we had a really streamlined production.
Yeah, some of the comments were about the chemistry between the two of you, and also they wanted this to be expanded. I know you had obviously originally had written this as a feature, but people have said that they wish this was 90 minutes. Is there any thoughts of maybe doing this longer, or you guys maybe moving on to a next project?
Yeah,
Justin's writing it.
we were like kicking some ideas back and forth that were like inspired off of Instagram for like what the story could be in the next iteration of the draft of the feature. And I'm part of a writers group that I'm like playing hooky on right now to be here, so I'm gonna hop there afterwards. But yeah, we're working toward making this a more full-length version.
Awesome, that's exciting.
It's your sizzle, Justin. It's your sizzle. Now it's gonna get done.
Exactly.
No, it is. I'm serious. Now it's gonna happen. You did it. I promise you. I'm saying it. It's gonna happen.
Maggie just put it out there. I love it.
Thanks, Maggie.
Next stop, Oscars.
Awesome. All right, let's go over to Hilary and Suzie. And I mean, this is just amazing, like what you guys put together as far as the animation, the backdrops, just the story, and the trippy transition someone said, and the kinky happy ending. I would just love to know how you guys thought of it, and the production, and just it was really unique, and it's something we definitely have never really gotten submitted before. Or I think I found this film and asked you to submit, but
I love this film. I just had to jump in. This was my choice, and I loved it. I was so excited to see it. Just wanted to, but go ahead.
Oh, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
That's so meaningful to hear you say that. So I'm going to take the thing about, I guess, why we made it, which is We've actually been working together for many years, and for like the last 5 or 6 years on a series of queer experimental folk and fairy tales, and they are all based on traditional folk tales. So this Stinkhorn is based on a Scottish folk tale, and we adapted it to be queer and change some of the like innuendos and outcomes, like the witch in the original gets burned. So we made it more like a happy ending for the spooky aspects of it. And yeah, you want to say something else, Suzie?
Yes, the original tale is called the blacksmith's, or no, the baker's wife of Yarrow something or other, and we really were interested in a tale of human animal transformation and magic, and sort of and you know, when we started this project, we thought it was going to be for children.
Kids love it.
We actually have shown it to children, and you know, I don't think they get quite the pony play references or some of the other aspects of it that might be. But I think that's what's really interesting about how you can make programming that means one thing to children and means something different to grown-ups. And that's something we're very interested in, and we're very interested in you know, denormalizing folk and fairy tales, because they're such a powerful force in our culture, and they sort of promote ideas of celebrating whiteness and certain very limited ideas around beauty and desirability in terms of politics and lifestyles even, and sort of this whole heteropatriarchy, and sort of, but they also have a lot of chaos and strange things happening. So sort of embracing the strange parts of them and queering them and upsetting the balance of power in a way to destabilize the way that they make meaning, I think is really important. And we're both artists, so I think that's where all the backgrounds come from. We made lots and lots of handmade drawings to make the whole world. That then we put these live action figures in. It was sort of thinking of making it sort of like a pop-up storybook come to life.
It really does. It really does seem like that. It's
Yeah, there was
really
like this one scene where there's like this gecko climbing up the wall on one side, and it's like, oh, that's so great. Just like, it's just like a little detail. All the gecko does is just climb up, and it's just like, I feel like there's little touches like that all through the film.
Yeah, a main character in the film is the Sonoran Desert. I live in Arizona, and Suzie spends a lot of time there. And so all of those representations of plants and animals and landscapes were you know, very lovingly done for a place that is really important to us.
Wait, where did you find the actors?
They were all students at Arizona State University, which is where I teach. So they were, some of them were alums. It was just like a group of queer students that we loved and that we felt like, you know, that were willing to do it. We paid them, but you know, they were willing to enter into it fully. So
yeah.
And what were your doodles like as kids? I really love to have seen what your doodles were like as kids. Were they dark or different? Or I'm sorry, I don't mean to. I'm just asking. Like,
I mean, it's funny because, you know, Suzie started as the video artist, and part of the reason she went into video was because she felt like she couldn't draw, and then she ended up doing like 99% of the drawing. So there was like this kind of breakthrough thing about drawing there for Suzie as we were trying to generate the imagery for the film. So there were no childhood drawings on.
oh no, okay, yeah, come on, we all did childhood drawings.
So where did you actually film some of the stuff?
I mean, it was all shot in a green screen studio, like in a big empty room at Arizona State University. So most of it was shot against a green screen, and some of it was shot on these like sets that we built. So,
But everything was shot indoors, and then we pasted the people into the storybook environment just through the magic of After Effects.
It was very magical. It definitely was. Yeah, so Diane here is the one who picked that, and Giuseppe, who's on listening, is the one who picked Go Crazy with Crazy, and I believe Sean, who's on, is the one who picked Maggie Mystery. So just, you know, the team members behind your picks for these films are here. There's
you.
Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you,
I love you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean, very much.
Welcome.
The rest of you, no, I'm just kidding. No,
We
I
love
love
the rest
this.
of you.
No, this is, are you kidding? This is the best environment to be in. I feel like, and you didn't ask me, but I feel instantly close to people in this group. And whenever we do this, which is weird because COVID, we wouldn't be able to do this but for COVID. And now, I mean, I want to know the Crazy for Crazy people. I want to know the doodling lesbians. I mean, no, I don't. I mean, it's just because honestly, Suzie, it's like, oh, Hilary, there's your, okay, I didn't see your name. So, I mean, I want to, like, I do. I mean, I'm not being, I know I'm a dork, but that's how I feel, like that this stuff is happening in a way that's just, you know, I'm all going to reach out to all of you after this, and I hope that's okay.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely put you all in an email. And this has definitely been cool for us on our end, just because obviously we've been able to do Q&As when we have these in person, but this has been such a chance to get people from all over the world to call in at all these different times to do these Q&As, and everyone can meet and see faces, which has been great for us, I think.
And see things I wouldn't, I mean, even the shorts that I wouldn't have seen otherwise, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I feel lucky. Thank you.
To the Go Crazy team, can we talk about the ending a little bit with you in the elevator seeing him, and what kind of, if you had to tell me what happens from there, I'd love to know.
Oh, that's a big question. I mean, Justin has this moment, actually, I'll use your, well, I'll just say Justin. Justin had this moment where at the end of the scene, he's just like, what did I just walk into? So we're just trying to figure out, like, especially for the next iteration, like where this go, because we really, I mean, Justin's been writing a little bit of it and he shared a little bit with me, but we have a pretty crazy idea that we're bouncing around that I'm super excited about, that I won't jinx by talking about it yet. But we're super excited about it. We think that it'll kind of take it to the next level of like weirdness. So
Next level of weirdness.
Yeah, we're totally down for that.
Awesome.
Just to add on to that too, I'm really interested in exploring like forgiveness and like coming back together as friends after like a fallout. So curious to explore like where these characters end up like once they start to like go their separate ways, but then show each other some compassion again. So just, I guess in terms of theme, that's where we're looking to take it.
Well, we're excited whenever it may happen.
We'll send it to you guys.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'll stalk you and be like, is your film done yet?
And we'll say, hopefully.
If you want to follow along, we're on Instagram as well at Go Crazy with Crazy Film for more project updates.
Yeah, awesome. Maggie Mysteries team, is this ever been a thought to make this into a series?
You know, I mean, people ask. We did write a second one, like start to, but I mean, honestly, it was just a one-off out of frustration. But I do have in my brain, you know, I want to take Marilla and Brandon into some other places because, you know, sometimes being beards, I can't imagine what it would have been like, right? To have been in that situation and trying to actually
Me either.
What's that?
I said me either. Interracial beards. I'm here for it.
In 1912, yeah.
Yeah.
In 1912, yeah.
And then also trying to also be queer at the same time while, you know, keeping your cover. So, you know, there's definitely, it's just exploring, you know, in a comedic way, the difficult things that queers had to go through at that time. But we've got other things in our brains too for other shorts for the team. So
Yeah, we want to do one of Gentleman Jack called Gentleman Black, starring me.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got that one. I've got that one in my brain, and so
I'm here for that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you have someone specific for your costume design?
Shannon, do you want to answer that? You were the director.
Yeah, I guess by default I ended up being costume design, but Maggie was really clear like what she wanted, and it was pretty simple. Like Murdoch Mysteries is on TV all the time. A little known fact: Marilla was actually in an episode of Murdoch Mysteries, and she was hilarious. Look it up. Anyway, yeah, look it up. She was great. So we knew what we were working with, and it was really just a matter of finding costumes that fit, that looked nice. And so we went to, there's a place in Toronto, which I think unfortunately has closed now due to COVID, called Malabar. And they do all of the, we don't have Broadway in Toronto, but all of those types of shows and all of the operas, and they have costumes from every time period, from the medieval times all the way through. And so I managed to schedule a little bit of time with everybody because everyone was so busy. We went down there and just, tried on whatever fit, looked right for that time period. We had 10 years to choose from, and whatever looked, really great. There's a series of photos of many dresses that Maggie hated because they were dresses. We had to fight with her. No, you have to wear a dress. That's the whole joke of the show.
I know. You're being a dork. I
have all these photos of Maggie in dresses going.
I can see it.
Yeah, and it was just finding a costume that looked the right time period, but that fit and made everyone feel great. Like Brandon had a fabulous costume with like 3-piece suit, and Marilla chose one that she really liked because of the bustle.
Look so.
You look great. And then my friend Tamsin Smith, who's a makeup artist and hairdresser, she did the wig for Marilla. The rest of us used our own hair. Oh no, I wore a wig, but the rest of us had our own hair.
Yes, you did. And you had your facial features as well. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Hilary and Suzie, I'm interested to know, is this the type of style that you guys always go with as far as short films or in general, and what maybe are you guys working on next?
Well, we've normally done non-narrative films in the past, and the first of the folk tales is a piece called The Sausage. Look it up on the internet. And the second was Stinkhorn, and we're working on a third that has been kind of in the planning stages for a long time. That's called Better Out Than In. That's about kind of femme ingenue for whom farting is her superpower.
Oh my God, I want to see that
right away. Immediatement.
That's amazing.
In fact, there's a whole genre of folktales about farting femmes. So
who knew?
I think I just found a new career.
We were supposed to shoot it this summer, but we couldn't because we were going to do it more as a full production, live action out in the country and some land that our friends own. But it didn't seem safe to bring as many people together. So it's on hold, and we're sort of reconfiguring it to be maybe a little bit more like Stinkhorn, a combination of live action with 2D and 3D animation. So it'll probably be
similar in style in that regard. Yeah, a lot of composites.
Well, it sounds like a GTO selection.
Yeah, I think it's for sure belongs here.
You'll have a home for sure. I know obviously with COVID, it's been tough, but does anyone else have other things going on right now? Filming, post, just writing in general?
I do. I don't want to take up too much time, but we did I have produced a festival called We're Funny That Way, which, was, I think, the first actual queer comedy festival ever when we launched in 1996 or 7. But certainly the longest running at this point. It's a comedy and music festival. This year, due to COVID, we pivoted and did a COVID special. It's actually quite good. Leah Delaria is in it. Andrea Martin is in it. Colin Mockery is in it. Brandon's in it. It's a bunch of stand-ups, some character comics, some sketch, and 2 amazing musicians and 1 drag queen singing her heart out in her living room. So that is available streaming live on the CBC Comedy channel. So you guys can just go to CBC Comedy and put in We're Funny That Way. I'd love to get that out there because it's free and it's got some amazing talent in it. One of the things I love about producing a festival is being able to showcase amazing queer talent. And y'all know some of them. Karen Williams, you probably know, and some of them you don't, like Brandon, but you should. So that's really dear to my heart, and if you could, that'd be great.
Awesome. We'll give it a plug on our channel for sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyone else?
I'm currently in post for an LGBTQ plus episodic series that we shot before COVID. And
nice.
It's so now we're just trying to we still have a few things that we're trying to work out, but it's basically a mockumentary about a off Broadway show and the character and what goes into it. So so I'm really excited, and I'll send you the sizzle so you can see what it looks like. But we're currently in post, and we're just trying to finish it. So that's been the high priority. It's called Little House on the Ferry, and it's
nice.
It's all about Fire Island.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Cool.
Anyone else want to?
I got nothing.
I'll
Brandon's
release my first comedy album. Can you guys hear me?
Ish, yeah.
I can tell if Brandon.
Ish? Okay.
There it is.
I just really.
Frozen Brandon.
Is this working?
Go for it, Maggie. Tell them
this
about
friggin'
it.
country Wi-Fi, Lord.
He just released his first comedy album.
I just released my first Capricornication. Capricornication.
Capricornication.
Lord.
Capricornication.
Okay. Lord. Yeah. This is not working for me.
And Marilla just made a comedy album.
I did. I didn't want to piss on Brandon's chips, as we say in England. Mine's called All Mouth and No Trousers, which sounds much dirtier in North America than it does in England. But yeah, I mostly live in this booth because I also am a voice actor. So I don't often leave the booth, which is why I wanted to do this Q&A from the booth so you can see where I live in my hobbit hole.
And Justin, what about you? Obviously, you're writing whatever is happening next with this script.
Yeah, we've got another festival coming up beginning of September, and then developing some projects, part of the writers group that I'm in called Film Shop, and a lot of exciting stuff happening there that I'm excited to see continue on.
Awesome. I'm not sure. Does anyone else from our team have any questions? I'm not sure if anyone else has any questions or just comments in general. I have yes to Capricornication. That was from Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon says.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming here. We appreciate you guys being part of the GTFO program. I'm glad that we all got to meet in this way. You guys all seem like you have a bunch of stuff happening and going on. So obviously, when anything else is done, feel free to send it our way. We would be happy. We love to have returning filmmakers. So, keep us posted on everything you guys are doing. We'll try to help promote whatever you guys are doing as well.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome.
We really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for
You're
your
welcome,
film.
guys.
Yeah, honestly.
Thanks for coming.
I
Oh,
know-
Katie, how can
Yeah.
we stay in touch with everyone? Will you connect us? Because I
I
would
will.
love to
I'll do
follow
that
up.
when we get
Yeah.
off right now.
Great.
I'll connect you guys all through email.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and yeah, thank you so much. Like I you know, I am just, I know I'm like a jerk. As I get older, I get very goofy, but it just, thank you. That's all. This is one of those festivals that you want to get in. So we were very excited. And so you guys have been at this for 3 decades, I think. So
great.
thanks.
Did everyone,
Thank you.
did everyone get a chance to see each other's films? Because we can put that up as well.
I would like you to set that up
I would
because
love
I did
that.
not. Yeah, thank you.
We'll send it around.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Sean. That's very
Thank
thoughtful.
you.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Meeting
Woo! Go Canada.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Stay Canada.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.